Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Aquarius. So, Aquarius, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So, before I begin with your message today, I'm recording this a little bit late in the day, so it's already late afternoon. The sun is already setting, it's almost evening. So if it gets dark, we'll see how it goes. But hopefully there will be light until the end. And I feel like sharing this with you because it feels like this environmental condition which feels very pertinent to your reading today, because I feel like you want to get through to the end to something, but it's almost like you don't realize, Aquarius, that you are kind of in the middle point, in the middle stage between thinking that this will go on and on and on. You won't be able to carry on. Maybe you will feel depleted, because I feel like you are already. You have been kind of struggling or trying to hold on and keep your energy high, or keep believing that this will come to the end. But I feel like it gets to a point where you suddenly realize that actually what feels like it's never going to end, it's not just ending, but it's opening up an entire new cycle that is way more abundant, way more luminous, way more powerful, and way more deserving. It's like it feels like this is what you deserve. It's almost like it's leveling up with you, right? This new opportunity, this opening that happens when you realize that this is coming to an end, right? Because it feels like you have been carrying the load for somebody else. And it's like this mixed baggage, right? So the first card that is here for you, Aquarius, today is the Four of Swords. And this is talking about this stop point, this it's like this recharging moment, right? Because what I heard with this card, with the Four of Swords, is just relax. Just relax, Aquarius. There is a lot going on here for you. And I feel like the reason why it feels so complicated and ever ending, it's because it's like an old dynamic. It's an old relationship. It's like, it has to do with old feelings. But receiving the guidance from the very first card and just relax. This feels significant because I feel like you are kind of feeling this weight over your shoulder. So you might feel like, well, you may perceive this moment in time like this is the moment that you're being depleted. But as I said, it feels like it's been adding up, because these two cards, they fell together, but the way that they fell, it's almost like they were stumbling down. And the way that I saw these two cards, and that's the reason why you need to relax, it's because what I was seeing with these two cards falling from the deck were two people falling together down a staircase, right? And being the Ten of Swords, I'm sorry if I'm too blunt with what I'm going to say right now, but it is what I'm perceiving, right? I feel like there is, you and somebody else that are tangled up falling down the staircase, and it's almost like you're tangled up, both of you, with your stuff, right? So, but again, going back to the Ten of Swords, and this is what I'm a little bit reluctant to share with you, but I feel like this other person, Aquarius, they are not well intended, right? The Ten of Swords here is coming through with the traditional meaning of kind of cheating, or, by the least, being very ill-intended, right? It's like they have their own stuff that they want to throw over you, right? And that's the reason why It's like, it feels like you're just being caught up in something that perhaps it was yours, right? Especially because this card is coming next. The Six of Cups. So this is the reason why I was talking about the old emotions, the old dynamics, the old relationships. I feel like whomever is coming through as the other person that is falling down the staircase with you, and this is just a metaphor, of course, for something that is not going the way that you imagined. Perhaps you had hopes that this ending, because, being the 10, it's like you hope that this would end in a better note, or in just a better way than it is right now. But the Seven of Pentacles being and the Six of Cups, it's almost like maybe this person is wanting to fight over their stuff because maybe they have built something together with you, right? It's almost like it goes back in time, right? This is what the Six of Cups is talking about. But there are still things like stuff, like actual stuff, maybe, objects, or, a place, or whatever it is that is physical, right? That is shared. And it's almost like you want to make this assessment on your own, but here they are. It's almost like they are, what is the word? It's like they are injecting themselves. They are, it feels like they're pushing you down the staircase, right? It's almost like maybe you wanted that distance, right? So that you could assess stuff from afar, so that you could be the observer and see clearly what is that you're looking at, what is that, over time, uh, maybe, I don't know how long ago you have been, collecting these things with them, or, maybe if this is just, a joint account, perhaps. It's like it's almost like they just want to mess this up. I'm sorry to say that, Aquarius, but it feels like they want to create a little bit of like this very emotional, draining situation for you, so that instead of having clarity over the stuff, right, being very practical with, the facts or the money or the objects or whatever it is that the Seven of Pentacles represents, it's like they're bringing old emotions, old conversations, old wounds, or whatever it is. It doesn't feel like it's, light and loving. It feels very painful. It's almost like, they haven't digested stuff from the past. And now that it has to do with, tangible things, it's almost like they want their cut, and it's almost like they're not thinking about you. That's the reason why I feel like both of you are stumbling down the staircase, and it's almost like they want to use you as like this cushion, right? So that they make sure that they have their split, they have their part. Because for you, it's almost like it only gets messy for you, Aquarius, I want to say, when you are enmeshed in this stuff, right? If you keep a distance, it's almost like you can have clarity, right? Especially because the Four of Swords, it's giving you this guidance so that you can take your time to think this through, so that these old emotions are not in the mix. But it's almost like they are purposefully doing this so that they bring in the emotion that is going to confuse you. And, it's almost like here you have peace of mind, but when you're here, it's like you cannot look at the stuff just for what they are. It's like it's all enmeshed in, old wounds, old games. It's how it's coming through, like, power games and whatever it is. It doesn't feel light and loving, as I said. It feels very heavy. It feels like they have like this ill intention of doing this on purpose, so that they really bring stuff that they know that it's like they know how to get through to you, right? Using the things that they know from you from the past. And the thing about you, Aquarius, is that now you're realizing that you have been carrying this burden since then. right? I want to say the Nine of Wands here, it's talking about carrying this load, but feeling lonely, right? So even if it's now clear to you that this was a very incoherent, imbalanced, not healthy at all relationship dynamic, right? The shared path, it was filled with, just unhealthy things, right? It's like you have been on your own. You have been carrying that load on your own since then. And it's almost like you didn't even allow yourself to think things through. And it seems like now it's the time to do so, right? Now it's the time for you to see that actually you have been on your own for a long time, I feel like, right? No matter how much they are trying to entangle you more and more and more, going more and more and more to the past, right? Because it's almost like the more they go to the past, the more you're going to realize that you were, even if you were in a partnership, even if you were building things together, right? It's like you were on your own. It's like you were carrying the heavy duty on your own. And I feel like the reason why you're going to realize how this was depleting and it's getting to this limit, because I feel like until this point for you, it always, it might have felt like this would always be the case. But with the Ace of Wands coming next, you see here, it's the same ace, right? But here it's free of this barricade, of these walls, of, the sidelines, or, the constriction. Here, it's almost like, even like the stuff, right? It could be, it's almost like maybe you didn't want to be so absorbed by, having to deal with the stuff because it's heavy, because it makes you feel bound, it makes you feel restricted, right? But when you realize that actually you have freedom, that things don't need to be this heavy, it's like this is when you realize that this is coming to an end, even though since you met this person, maybe since they entered your life, right? That even if you were with them, you were feeling lonely. I mean, in terms of like, if we're talking about like, being the one to carry the heavy load of having to pay all the bills, right? Or, be responsible for the finances of the home, right? Because this is what I feel like it's what is being discussed, right? But as I was saying about like the environmental conditions, it's almost like don't allow yourself to be tangled up in this storyline, because it is in the past. And it's almost like the more you go to the past, the more you realize that you were on your own since then, right? No matter, how long you were with them or not. Because it's like you're going to feel the difference once you detangle, you see? Because it's almost like here you were imprisoned in a sense, right? It's like you were just feeling the heaviness. And here, it's almost like your creativity is going to come back. Even your libido is going to come back. Like your passion for life, your joy for life, right? It's like this zest, right? Here you were being depleted, but it's almost like you were being gaslighted, right? It's like, over time, maybe for a long time, it's like you have been manipulated, right? Cheated on, just lied to, perhaps. But now it's clear to you, like everything is on the table. So it's very, very clear what is the situation now and actually how far back it goes or when it started, right? Because you know that you don't need to be feeling like this, right? Maybe it gets to a limit that you feel like, you were already being depleted slowly, right? And gradually. But now you feel the difference. It's like you're going to put everything aside, right? Because you know that you deserve more. I mean, look at this difference. The Nine of Wands freeing itself and then becoming the Emperor. This is like, not only like this overhaul change, it feels like this, it's like, a shift like from black to white or from day to night, right? It's like this very significant change, right? And it's interesting also because, you know, apart from the Emperor, which is the only major arcana, we only have minor arcana. And that's the reason why I feel like, as I said in the beginning, this is almost like this pit stop, right? It's like, relax, because you're just catching your breath so that you can be free, so that you can free yourself from this perspective that perhaps this was going to, you know, just be lagging over time, right? Which has been the case perhaps, right? If you look back to the past, which is what this person seems to be wanting to remind you of, which is good, right? Even if they're doing it with this ill intention, for you is good because you realize what the reality of back then, which you have been carrying on until now, but now you can free yourself because now you know the reality that if you're feeling depleted now, it's almost like you're asking yourself, how could I endured so long? And I want to say it's because you're the Emperor, right? It's like you're this powerful authority figure, but you don't realize. It's like it's only now that you're free from maybe the influence and the heaviness, right? Maybe the control, that you're understanding that you're in control of your own life, right? So it's almost like now it's time for you to experience this free life, this free journey ahead, where you know that it's like you're not alone together with somebody. It's like this person is no longer there. So it's okay if you are feeling like empowered to be this individual, right? It's like both of these cards are just talking about like this unity of self, right? And it's interesting because it's like this completion, right, with the circle, which here was just showing me this never-ending path, but this is coming to an end. It's like the point of view that you had of this situation, that this was just going to keep on, you know, lagging on. It's like, no, it's coming to an end, but it's coming to an end because you're realizing who you are, the powerful being that you are, right? So it's like you're taking that power back. So it's incredible, but I feel like, you know, for starters, just relax, right? So I am going to pull more cards for you, Aquarius, as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find a link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.